Right in the heart of Arlington, under a cold November sky, they cuffed the tomb guard. Staff Sergeant John Kessler stood like stone as the MP snapped the handcuffs on him, his eyes locked forward. Not a flinch, not a word. The crowd at the tomb of the unknown soldier froze, phones half raised, whispers rippling like wildfire. Arresting a sentinel here? One tourist hissed. A kid tugged his mom's sleeve, confused. To them, Kessler was just a guy in a sharp uniform caught in some scandal they didn't understand. But what they didn't know, what nobody in that crowd could have guessed, was that this tomb guard had stopped a bloodbath with a single call 3 days ago, and the four-star general who'd ordered his arrest, striding toward the plaza with fury in his eyes, was about to learn he owed his life to the man he just put in chains. Before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe that values like honor, courage, and sacrifice still matter, join us in keeping their legacy alive. Picture this: a cold November afternoon at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones, makes your breath puff out in little clouds, and turns every sound razor sharp. The sky's a heavy gray, like it's carrying the weight of the stories buried in those endless rows of white headstones. At the tomb of the unknown soldier, a small crowd, maybe 50 people, huddles together, wrapped in coats and scarves. Tourists, veterans, a high school history class, a couple of reporters with cameras slung around their necks. They're here to watch the changing of the guard, that solemn, perfect ritual where every step, every movement feels like a promise kept to those who never came home. The air hums with reverence, the kind you feel in your chest, not just here. But what they don't know, what none of them could have guessed, is that they're about to witness something that'll hit the front page of every news outlet by sundown, a moment that'll remind everyone what courage really looks like. The tomb of the unknown soldier sits elevated, its white marble glowing under the soft floodlights as the day fades. The sentinel, Staff Sergeant John Kessler, moves with mechanical precision. 21 steps, a crisp turn, a pause, then 21 steps back. His polished boots click against the stone, each sound slicing through the silence. Kessler's 32, tall, broad-shouldered, with piercing blue eyes that seem to see everything and nothing at once. His uniform's immaculate, green coat pressed sharp enough to cut glass, white gloves, spotless rifle balanced perfectly against his shoulder. To the crowd, he's a living statue, part of the ceremony that's been unbroken for decades, rain or shine, day or night. But Kessler is more than that. 3 tours in Afghanistan, 2 Bronze Stars, a man who's carried wounded comrades through hell and made calls that saved lives when the wrong movement meant body bags. His record's buried in classified files, but one line from his last evaluation sticks out. Kessler's instincts are a weapon as sharp as any rifle. Today, those instincts are about to change everything. The crowd watches, hushed. A mom whispers to her teenage son, explaining the ritual. See how he doesn't flinch? That's discipline. That's honor. Her kid nods, half listening, his phone half out, ready to snap a picture. Nearby, an older veteran, his jacket heavy with pins, stares at Kessler with something like recognition. He knows the look of a man who's seen war up close. A couple of tourists, probably from out of state, murmur about how cool it is to see this in person. It's like something out of a movie, one says. A reporter from NBC adjusts her camera, sensing a slow news day. But then the atmosphere shifts. A ripple runs through the crowd as a group of men in crisp military uniforms approaches, their boots echoing louder than they should. At the center is General James T. Callahan, a 4-star general, a legend in the Pentagon. His face is all hard lines, his chest a mosaic of medals that tell a story of 30 years in command. He's here for a high-profile memorial event, one with foreign dignitaries and a tight schedule. But something's off. His jaws tight, his eyes locked on Kessler. Callahan stops a few feet from the tomb, his entourage fanning out behind him. The crowd goes quiet, sensing something big. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. Callahan's voice cuts through the chill, calm but heavy with authority. Staff Sergeant Kessler, stand down. You're under arrest for insubordination and disruption of protocol. The words land like a grenade. The crowd gasps, a collective intake of breath. A teenage girl tugs her dad's sleeve. "Dad, what's happening?" He shushes her, eyes wide. The veteran in the pin-covered jacket steps closer to the rope barrier, muttering, "This ain't right." Two MPs, their faces unreadable, step forward. One reaches for Kessler's rifle, sliding it from his shoulder with practiced ease. The other pulls out handcuffs, the metal glinting under the floodlights. Kessler doesn't move, doesn't blink. His posture is still perfect, like he's carved from the same marble as the tomb behind him. The cuffs click shut around his wrist, the sound sharp enough to make a woman in the crowd flinch. "They're arresting him right here," a tourist whispers, his phone already recording. "At the tomb? What the hell did he do?" The NBC reporter's camera's rolling now, her instincts screaming that this is no ordinary moment. A kid in the history class whispers to his friend, "This is going viral, man." From the back, a voice calls out, "Let him speak." It's the veteran, his face red with indignation. You don't cuff a sentinel at the tomb unless he's done something unforgivable. Callahan doesn't look at the crowd. His focus is on Kessler, who finally speaks, his voice low but steady, carrying across the stone plaza. "General, one truth before you take me away. It's about why I broke that order and why you're still here to give it." The MPs freeze, their hands on Kessler's elbows. There's something in his tone, not defiance, not anger, just certainty that makes them hesitate. Callahan's eyes narrow, his gloved hands clasping behind his back. "You'll speak at an inquiry, Sergeant, not here in front of a crowd." But the crowd's not having it. Phones are up, live streams are starting, and murmurs swell into a chorus. "Let him speak," another voice shouts, joined by others. A woman in a wool coat whispers to her husband, "This feels bigger than we thought." Let's rewind a few days to understand how we got here. 3 days ago, during a major memorial ceremony at the tomb, Kessler was on duty. The event was a big deal. Foreign dignitaries, Pentagon brass, a speech from Callahan himself scheduled to honor fallen soldiers. The crowd was bigger than usual, maybe 100 people, all cleared by security. But Kessler, with his radar-like instincts, noticed something off. A man in his 40s, wearing a bulky jacket and carrying a heavy backpack, stood near the edge of the crowd. He kept checking his watch, avoiding eye contact. His shoulders hunched like he was carrying more than just a bag. To anyone else, he might have been just another tourist. To Kessler, he screamed trouble. Kessler radioed for security check, but his CO